Rowing the Drake is the furthest you can aim in the ocean rowing world.
The Drake Passage is known in the world of seafaring as one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous, waterway in the entire world.
2 years of my life where I've been planning for this.
The night before we left, there was definite fear.
When we set out onto the water, I felt the butterflies in my stomach.
So many things could have gone wrong.
Get out of here! Turn away!
So easy to have failed in so many different ways. But we made it to become the first people ever to complete a fully human-powered row across Drake Passage.
We just rode to Antarctica. Like, you can't be anything cooler than that.
The storm is a very humbling experience. Because you realize you're so small in this huge ocean that is so powerful, and nothing will go through your head apart from where you're going to put that oar. You will never live more in the present and the now than being in a storm.
The wind was too strong for us to row any farther forward, so when that happens, you ride out the storm and then you keep rowing when it's done.
That bow cabin was cramped.
It's very cozy in here. Very cozy.
As a result of that, we decided to do hour-and-a-half shifts on the deck. The waves kept crashing down on me over the bow and soaking everything that I had.
On deck, just watching the kind of crazy ocean swells, it's an experience in itself.
I had never experienced something like that before, and I felt really scared.
Yeah, it's tough. I know, guys, mental batteries are drained. It might not be obvious, but most of all by the humidity. You know, being in 100% humidity means that once something got wet, will never get dry. So they're constantly in wet things, and that's really lowering down the comfort for most of people. Is kind of unbearable.
The cabin, it got pretty gross back there. Everything was wet. There were random things mixing together.
Body odor mixed with sweat, mixed with salt water, mixed with, spilled freeze-dried.
When you're rowing in those kind of conditions for so long, you just get accustomed to the smell until there's a really bad smell. The bathroom bucket was just next to our bow cabin, and sometimes when someone just gone to the bathroom, like you get a bit of the smell coming in, and they would just hotbox the bow cabin.
If the viewers in the future have a chance to press the button transmit fragrance, don't do it. That's how bad it smells.
I had done a ton of physical training to be ready and had underestimated the amount of mental training that was needed also to get through this.
There's just no way to wrap your mind around it until you feel it. The intensity of actually feeling those waves, feeling that cold ocean splash across my face. Definitely starting to feel some wear and tear on the body. Wrist joints are feeling sore.
You've got sores all over. You've got sores in your bum, you've got sores in your hands. I had really bad sores in my ankles where it went right through the skin. Absolute agony, actually, every time I touched it.
Pulling this boat continuous, 90 minutes on, 90 minutes off. Of course, eventually catches up to your body. With sleep deprivation, there was times when I kind of felt in a daze and somewhat of a lucid dream. I'd kind of almost nod off for a second and realize, I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing.
There was one period where I was definitely at a low, thrown up over the side of the boat and trying to continue rowing, which was tough.
There were a couple of low points, but actually really enjoyed the whole trip. It's an something I'll never forget. This cruise ship came by. We had like, you know, an audience suddenly of like 250 people. The highlight for me was swimming naked in the Drake Passage.
There he goes!
It's hard to forget something like that.
It's like 4 degrees Celsius, and he just jumps in the water. That was insane. I think my favorite moment of the row was crossing the 60th parallel.
Oh, big 60s!
It just felt like a really special moment and something I don't think I'll ever forget.
Yes! How's morale, Viking shift? Morale is high. You got a Norse god in stroke. Beautiful glass weather for the break. I don't think I've seen this twice in the last week.
During calm seas, it was possible to really relax and enjoy ourselves. There were long stretches, entire days, where we were able to get into a really great swing. In rowing, you talk about swing when all rowers are entering and exiting the water at very close to the same time, so that you actually feel yourselves working together and you feel the power of the team transcending the sum of its parts. Those moments were euphoric highs.
It was a pretty beautiful thing to come together like that for 12 days and really take care of each other.
We came together, we formed a phenomenal team. It was like having a band of brothers.
Kind of getting closer and closer to Antarctica, you're just kind of praying for like to see land. It was very foggy, so we only actually saw land about a few kilometers from actual land.
After being out at sea for so many days, not seeing anything but, you know, the endless sea, the pristine beauty of Antarctica, the icebergs, the penguins, the whales, on Christmas morning, I mean, what other place can you experience nature up close in such a visceral way? It was absolutely astonishing. And that is joy that will stick with me forever.
It's a funny feeling being back on dry land. After 12 days actually rowing, I feel like we couldn't even stand up straight.
Guys, sort of like being drunk.
Super freaky.
Right.
Each one of my expeditions, I think to myself, I do something that I've never done before. What I'm really trying to do is unlock that in any person out there. My hope is to spread that inspiration and positivity all around the world, that they're gonna go out in their own lives and take on the impossible for themselves.
I have a poem I would like to recite, not my own, okay? The great sea moves me. It keeps me adrift. It moves me like algae on stones in running brook water. Vault of heaven moves me. Mighty weather storms through my soul. It carries me with it, trembling with joy.
Great passage!
I think our success in making the impossible row possible has a lot to do with each individual's contribution to the team. I would happily undertake almost any challenge with any member of our crew again.
Woo! We did it! Did it!
Yeah.
That's a wrap.